men in Gaza. They're accused of being outlaws or collaborating with Israel, bound, blindfolded and shot at point-blank range by Hamas fighters. Since the ceasefire between Israel and Hamas came into effect, the militant group tightened their grip over the enclave, taking aim at those they say are collaborators and rival clans. Their presence is also more visible in the streets.
The people really welcomed this deployment and came to greet us and tell us to stand by them and against thieves, even if there is only a few. But this gives a spirit of assurance among the people.
Despite Hamas saying they are there to bring stability to Gaza, images of armed fighters will not help Gaza. They're accused of being outlaws or collaborating with Israel, bound, blindfolded and shot at point-blank range by Hamas fighters. Since the ceasefire between Israel and Hamas came into effect, the militant group tightened their grip over the enclave, taking aim at those they say are collaborators and rival clans. Their presence is also more visible in the streets.
The people really welcomed this deployment and came to greet us and tell us to stand by them and against thieves, even if there is only a few. But this gives a spirit of assurance among the people.
Despite Hamas saying they are there to bring stability to Gaza, images of armed fighters will not help the region's long-term peace objectives. The Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said the war cannot end until Hamas gives up its weapons. The group has rejected this, but
The people really welcomed this deployment and came to greet us and tell us to stand by them and against thieves, even if there is only a few. This gives a spirit of assurance among the people.
The ceasefire between Israel and Hamas came into effect, the militant group tightened their grip over the enclave, taking aim at those they say are collaborators and rival clans.
Shalom, Sintiga Sharallah, Kal, Layimla, Allahayanawa, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Bahashem Rachaha, Kodesh. My name is Gabaga of the Helpful Election from the Company of Prophet in Toronto, and today is Wednesday, October the 15th, another day closer to the deliverance of the letter of Israel and the destruction of Babylon the Great, aka Amerika.
This is the story of the one.
And as is written, let the elders that rule well become worthy of double honors, especially they who labor in the doctrine, which are the Presbyterian of Green Millstone, beginning with the elder apostles, the elder bishops, and the elders on down. I also want to say peace and salutation to all the Yakim on the highways and byways who continue to push his truth in honesty and sincerity and in the favor of Yahweh while Yahweh Shai. Yahweh is the true name of the Heavenly Father, whom the world only calls God. Yahweh means he to be, he is, he exists. And Yahweh Shai is the true name of his only begotten Son, whom the world only calls JC. Yahweh Shai means the deliverer or his savior. The Kodesh is the Spirit Holy. Alright? These are the names that is supposed to call upon, especially you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and only among the heathen that may look like the heathen, but still then goes back to the patriarchy of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob on the father's side. Alright? Going into it, this has just been breaking news this past day, I believe, where you had, Gaza came in, not Gaza, but like basically Hamas came in back to Gaza, and they basically overtook, the place that, the people, the Palestinians now dwelt, and now they're actually conducting, public executions and then murders, okay, public killings, okay, and I'm here to tell you that this is all, this all has been all this has been orchestrated, all this has been planned, all this has been engineered, from since the war began. Okay, you had these people posting images of brutality on on live TV. Okay, of people like losing arms, limbs. Okay, of dead babies, dead children. All this was being shown on TV. Okay, of death and destruction, of misery, of pain. Okay, of suffering. All this was being broadcasted on the mainstream media. But ultimately, this is all to basically condition the people to be used to this kind of lifestyle, to be used to this kind of to basically to condition the people to what's coming. And ultimately, that's what's coming, man. The destruction, okay, the suffering, okay, bodies in the street, okay, dead bodies everywhere, okay, and ultimately, basically like a land, America like never before. Ultimately, this is all is happening. Like you see, the mass shootings that's happening over there in Palestine right now. Okay, all this can be brought to America. Okay, seeing like the sufferings, the deaths. Okay, the starvation, people like lying in the street, of hungry, thirsty. Okay, pictures of basically, whole lands brought to desolation. Okay, these are all engineered and all planned, so that people can be conditioned to this kind of lifestyle. Okay, now Javier, I'll tap in a few images to show you, the devastation in Gaza, right? And basically, just to show you the suffering that people over there were going through. And ultimately, like I said, that's when it comes to America. Because ultimately, when people think of America, they somehow, they think that America is immune to all these, to all the suffering, is immune to all these, um, bad press, so to speak. Okay, they think America is somehow, somewhere, separate from the rest of the world, and America is going to continue on, being, that place where, there's never any hardships. Okay, everything's always, good, but that's not true. According to the scriptures, America is going to be, this is all planned for America, and actually, America is going to be the worst out of all the nations. Okay, out of all the countries. Right? America is going to get the worst judgment out of all the countries combined. Okay, which ultimately is going to be, so it's going to happen when Allah Yahshua returns, and basically America gets blown up. So when the wins, okay, in the Third World War and the War of Armageddon, ultimately before that, it's going to be time of Jacob trouble, and Jacob trouble. These people are going to really show their true colors, especially this so-called, these so-called white people, the hatred that they have towards you, towards you, you tribes. It's going to be made manifest in these times we're coming into. Okay, you already see, like they're already chanting about basically, trying to bring back, the lynchings. Okay, trying to bring back, the basically bring that back, the era of, of Roe v. Wade. Okay, where basically, you jigs, you Negroes, you were, you were basically, I want to say, open season, right? They could come and hunt you down and ultimately, take you out and do however they like, whatever they please with you. Okay, but ultimately that's going to come on all of America, okay, on all of, Babylon the Great. When the all hell breaks loose, when in time of Jacob trouble, when these people, lose it, when they have, they have nothing to lose. When the government, as you can see, the government has been shut down now, going on to, I believe this is the second week. Okay, and the cutting off jobs, and people are losing their jobs left, right, and center. So when these people have nothing to lose, they're going to lose it. It's going to be all pandemonium. Okay, Pandora box. Okay, and all hell is going to break loose in the society, and these people are going to take matters into their own hands. It's going to be like, it's going to be like, how you call it, is it I Max something or IMAX? Let me see. It's like, yeah, can't find the name for it, but basically that apocalyptic movie where, like, basically people take matters into their own hands. You know, um, yeah, it's not coming up. Anyways, let me go ahead and get the scriptures. Just to get into that. To bring this out, get that spirit to where basically to show to show you that America, is also slated for this judgment. America is slated for to where these people are going to take matters in their own hands, and it's going to be all hell breaking loose in the streets, all pandemonium to where there won't be any more police. Okay, there won't be any more 911 to call you. Okay, basically all hell is going to break loose, and these people are going to, everyone's going to be for himself. Okay, you're going to have these militia men out there, killing people, on en masse. Okay, taking out lives, taking out, babies, children, blowing up whole neighborhoods. Okay, all this coming to America. Same thing as we've been watching over in Gaza this past couple of years. All this coming to America. Okay, this book of Isaiah 47 verse 1, and it reads, it says, "Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon." Okay, the word there, virgin, means basically someone that's never been touched. Ultimately, that's talking about America. Because ultimately, America is that one country or that one, empire that has not been touched. And as far as like, only see like what all the other nations have gone through. Going back from like World War One, World War Two. You had like Europe, got devastated. Okay, or same with like Asia, Japan, okay, even Russia. Those places got devastated, but America did not suffer any brunt of has not suffered any brunt of like a mass attack. Right, so America remains to be a virgin, to be basically to be that untouched whore or that untouched a lady. Right, it says, "Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon." Babylon goes back to the word Babel in the Hebrew, which means confusion, and that's ultimately where America exudes. America exudes nothing but confusion. Okay, where you have men, women, occupying the same space. All right, you have more than two genders. Right, basically, America is a big ball of confusionism. Right, it says, "Sit on the ground, there is no throne, or daughter of the Chaldeans," and basically say, that this is a state of being, of being brought low, of being made, of being put to shame, okay, being made to sit on the ground. That's America basically being brought down, being brought low. Ultimately, it's happening through, the beginning of the apostles and elders of Grey Millstone. The men of the Lord are out here to shine the light and expose the lies, that America, is built upon. And ultimately, by us destroying these strongholds, okay, we are bringing this place down, man. Okay, brick by brick. Okay, it says, "There is no throne or daughter of the Chaldees, for thou shalt not, be called tender delicate." And the Chaldees, because ultimately, America, is taking up all the philosophies of these past empires, like the Chaldeans, okay, where they had the soothsayers, and they're doing all these manner of witchcrafts. Okay, this goes back to to Ur the Chaldean, going back to the time of Abraham. Well, that's where you get a festival like Christmas. Okay, all this goes back to back then. It says dust, confusion. That's right. Virgin daughter of Babylon, America. There is no America. Some America, and then Psalms on 37 7 to 78. It says, "There is no throne, no more rulership." That's right. To World War III. "Thou shalt never be called tender delicate." Americans have never known any proper attack. It's a proper loss of life. That's right. So America, America, has never really had, other than the so-called 9/11, which 9/11, that was a planned, that was engineered event. So therefore, that doesn't really count. Verse 2, it reads, "Take the millstone and grind the mill and cover the locks and make better leg." So ultimately, that's talking about, these Americans being put into a state of, of hardship, right? Because ultimately these Americans, they are known to, they used to, they're accustomed to living that soft life, that is life, to where, like you have, the government coming in to like give you aid, but now all this aid has been taken away. Trump, came in with this Doge, a Department of Government Efficiency. They took away they took away a lot of these programs that the government gives to his people. So now these people are having a hard time, right? These people are not living comfortable anymore. The cost of living is going through the roof. Okay, and now these people are having a hard time. Having 2-3 jobs, but yet you cannot afford, but yet you can't get a place to live, right? You be scraping by, man. You're living paycheck to paycheck. Says, "Make bare the leg, uncover the thigh, pass over the rivers." Verse 3, "The nakedness shall be uncovered, yea, the shame shall be seen." Right, ultimately, that's us bringing out this truth and exposing America for its lies, for its wickedness. And also at the same time, too, the people can see, the rest of the world can see how, how evil America is. The whole time, America was only the country that was aligned with Israel. Okay, in its pursuit to, commit genocide, right? As we're doing up there in Gaza, America was the only country that signed on, to has been toe with Israel this whole time. Well, everybody else, saw the wickedness that's happening there. So that's part of America being exposed, man. It's being shown that the EU support genocide. They support basically t- tyranny, right? And also at the same time too, you can see what Trump has been doing. Like him coming against all these countries, with his tariffs, okay, making it to where people hate America. Okay, they no longer have it to where America is looked at basically as a place to where people you know basically to where people look up to. America has been a place where there's freedoms and rights and all these things that people want, but really it came out that all these things, like your rights, your privileges, they've been taken away day by day. You see, people are no longer able to express themselves. You have all the whole thing, the anti this, anti that, anti Shem, right? People are no longer able to to basically pursue the American dream. All these things is being made manifest, man. All these things is coming to is being exposed. It says the nakedness shall be uncovered, yea, the shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man. But when Yahusha comes back, is going to ultimately take vengeance upon America and destroy it, and he will not coming back, in that angelic force, okay, to destroy America and to destroy, the power structure of Israel Edom. But before that happens, ultimately, like this is going to lead to that time of Jacob trouble. Or rather, this is going to, this is going to start off in time of Jacob trouble once all hell breaks loose. These people, they have no, these people take matters into their own hands, and it's going to be every man for himself. And that's why you're going to have people out there in the streets, okay, like it's going to be something like, oh, yeah, the movie I was thinking about is Mad Max. Actually, that's the movie I was thinking about, right? Mad Max. That's the one. So like here for that. Basically, that's how it's going to be out here in America, man. Like people are going to be living that lifestyle, of like, to where they take matters into their own hands, like basically like Mad Max kind of settings. You see, there won't be any more in any 911. Okay, you can't call anybody. Everyone's going to basically have it to where they're going to be acting out the true the true selves. Ultimately, America is a place where there's a lot of division. People are divided on every single aspect. Okay, you either swing one side or the other side. There's no in between. Ultimately, so once a hair breaks loose, it's gonna really, basically it's gonna be, on a biblical level, man, on a biblical proportion. So ultimately, America is divided in every way, form, and shape. It says it was as for our Redeemer, the Lord Yahweh of hosts is His name, the Holy One of Yasharallah. That's right. That's for the elect of Israel. That's who we worship. That's who's going to come to and redeem us. That's who we proclaim and prophesy. That's who we push. The name of the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, on His only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai. Okay, those are the powers that we look forward to. Those are the powers that we proclaim that's going to come and to deliver us. Because the time we're coming into, you're going to need that divine intervention. Okay, you're not going to be able to redeem yourself. Your money, okay, your ammo, your guns, your martial laws or your martial arts. They think okay, your jiu-jitsu, your black belt. That's not gonna save you, man. Only you're gonna need to have that covering of the Yabashmi Yashai to be able to make it in terms of coming into. We're going to say verse 5, sit thou silent and get thee into darkness, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called the lady of the lady of the kingdoms. You have that statue of the statue of the lady Liberty, okay, and basically America is seen as that delicate lady that has not seen any turmoil, okay, but ultimately, like I said, all it's about to change, right? Right. Yeah, it's just like this kind of images. This was coming to America, man. Right, all these buildings, like turn to rubble. It's gonna be a common sight to see in America, right? This is gonna be like this was coming to America, man. This was coming to Babylon the Great, right? Okay. Nothing but death and destruction, and just people like lamenting. Or ultimately, like we all say, America is destroyed, like psychologically, spiritually, morally, and the only thing that's left is for America to be destroyed physically. Once that's going to begin in the time of Jacob trouble, ultimately climax in the Third World War, okay, the War of Armageddon, right? Okay, this is the book of Second Ezra, 16:68. Like I was saying about like these militia are going to be out there, seeking to to kill people that don't agree with them. And also at the same time too, they're going to be coming against the men of the Lord. Okay, us brothers that believe in His truth, that believe in His gospel, they're going to seek to kill us because they're going to basically blame us. They're going to blame us for all the hell they're catching. So this book of 2 Ezra 16:68, and it reads, "For behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you, and they shall take away certain of you and feed you, being idle with things offered unto idols." Right? So and this ultimately is going to come, in time of jug of trouble. Okay, once these people, they get, basically once the Most High, gives that green light, okay, and pulls down, all these things that hold up society together, like the police force, like the fire department, okay, and all these things, okay, the hospitals, all right, the schools, all this is going to, all this is going to be done away with. It's going to be every man for himself, okay, and these people are going to take up arms and come against, us, the man of the Lord, and also at the same time too, they're going to come against all you Israelites, whether you believe or not. That's the thing about it, man. These Edomites don't care if you believe or not. They hate you regardless. That's why we trying to tell our people. Okay, just because you believe in Jesus, okay, in JC, in that Caesar Borgia, and you worship that what image of the Messiah. That doesn't mean that they love you. That they hate you just as much, right? They're gonna come against all of us regardless of our faith. So that Christianity is not going to save you. Okay, so it says, "They shall take away certain of you and feed you, being idle with things offered unto idols." That's going to the mark of the beast, which is the microchip, man. That's going to come in the hour of temptation. So most of our people are gonna go ahead and take that, okay, because they don't know any better, and also at the same time too, because the Most High has not revealed the truth unto them. Okay, or rather, the Most High has blocked them from receiving this truth. 69, "And they that consent unto them shall be had in derision and in reproach and trodden underfoot." So all you that take that chip, if you take that mark, you're going to be, for one, you're going to be turned into the experiment subjects. Okay, they're going to do with you as they will. Ultimately, they're going to come, and ultimately take everything from you and leave you with nothing. And ultimately, you're going to be a digital slave to them, and you won't have any freedom at all, man. Right? It says, "For there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great resurrection upon those that fear the name of that fear the Lord." Okay, so these people are going to be coming against the men of the Lord, like we just seen that video, right? Where they were doing mass murderings in Palestine. Let's go back here. Right? This was coming to Amerika, man. This was coming to a city near you. You're gonna see people being lined out on the street and being shot, point blank range. Okay, by like something also out of that movie that just came out, or the movie what was it called, man? I forget what it's called, but basically it was like a movie where you had like this militia, coming in and trying, and killing anybody that did not believe the same thing that they believed. Okay, and it's mostly these white, Caucasian, young Christian Americans, right? Scripture I'm gonna close up. Yeah, this is the book of Revelation 11:7, and it reads, And when they shall have finished their testimony, time what the men of the Lord, preaching this truth, which our testimony is the spirit, testimony of Yahweh Shai, the spirit of prophecy. That's why we've been prophesying, this whole time. Then when they shall finish the testimony, talking about the men of the Lord, the beast that ascendeth out of the bottomless pit shall make war against them. The beast talking about, later on the EU. Okay, and now is fully fledged into a dragon, right? So the beast that ascendeth out of the bottomless pit shall make war against them and shall overcome them and kill them. See, so once again, that's them. That's them coming out with their militia. Okay, coming against the men of the Lord, right? And ultimately, it's gonna come to a point where, a Lord Yahweh is gonna have to intervene. Okay, to actually, give like a counteract against these devils. Okay, that's where some sermon are going to receive that spiritual power. It tells you ultimately the Lord is going to lift up a standard. Let me sure you can get that. So you devils, you might think that you have the upper hand because you have all the military, you have all the guns. But we serve a power that the power that we serve is the power that comes with the Heavenly Father is spiritual power, and it can't defeat that, or it can't beat that, right? In the book of Isaiah 59 verse 19, and it reads, so shall they fear the name of the Lord Yahweh from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun to the east, when the enemy shall come in like a flood. So once again, the enemy is coming in like a flood. It is these Gregorite troops, the martial law troops come in against the men of the Lord, trying to do something that they've been doing over there in Palestine, trying to murder us in mass. Ultimately, the Most High is going to have it to us. Some of the men of the Lord get killed, get beheaded, whatever the case may be, tortured and all that. Okay, some of us are going to have to go through that, man, and that's how it is. It is what it is. Ultimately, we know that the Most High controls everything, controls life and death. So therefore, there's nothing that this man can do to us that the Most High has not allowed. So it's all in the Most High's hands, anyways, right? It says, when the enemy shall come in like a flood, the Spirit of the Lord Yahweh shall lift up a standard against him. They go into that word here, lift up a standard, basically goes to like the word is nawas. It says vanish away, right? Escape, subside, casualty. So the Most High can make it to you actually you vanish into thin air. You subside. You melt into a wall. You walk through a wall. Okay, or just like you develop some kind of camouflage, where a bait, a way, be displayed, make to flee away, put to flight, which most can have to it gives you supernatural speed to hide, little type of standard, to flee, escape, to flee, to flight, to depart, disappear, right? And so it says the Spirit of the Lord Yahweh shall lift up a standard against him, right? Against against these army troops when they come against the men of the Lord. Okay, that's when that spiritual power is going to kick in, and Moses is going to have it to where it intervenes and gives us the upper hand, which is ultimately giving us a spiritual power. Okay, but before that, we have to go through that test, the hour of temptation. Okay, to where that chip is going to be forced upon us, at the point of death. So ultimately, you have to remember these things and know that the Heavenly Father controls all this, and is going to have it to where we get the victory, at the end of the day. You see, I'm going to day. I want to say brother Yahweh Shai. I want to say Kama Sharallah wa Abad Rabal Shlam Pilet Shlam Akim.